My boyfriend live-streamed himself and his friends rating girls at a college party, and called me a 5/10 placeholder girlfriend. I silently updated my relationship status to single while he was still streaming. Then his fraternity brothers started calling me in a panic.
My name is Olivia, I'm 21, and my boyfriend of 8 months live-streamed himself and his fraternity brothers rating girls at a party, and called me a 5/10 placeholder girlfriend. Before I tell you about the chaos that happened next, let me know where you're watching from in the comments. I was in my dorm room, surrounded by accounting textbooks, a cold pizza box, and the dull, comforting hum of my mini fridge. It was finals week, and my roommate Zoe and I were hunkered down for a long night of studying. The air was thick with the scent of stale coffee and impending deadlines. Ethan, my boyfriend and the president of the most prestigious fraternity on campus, Alpha Beta Phi, was at his end-of-semester party. He'd promised to just have a few drinks with the guys, and I was happy to let him. I trusted him. Or so I thought. I even sent him a text wishing him a fun night, completely oblivious to the storm brewing. My phone buzzed. It was a notification: Ethan Reynolds 99 is live on Instagram. I smiled, thinking it would be a quick peek into the party chaos before I dived back into my accounting problems. Maybe a quick shot of him dancing awkwardly, or a crowd singing along to some pop song. But as soon as the video loaded, a chill ran down my spine. The camera, held by Ethan's friend Jason, was pointed at Ethan, who was standing on a coffee table in the middle of a crowded living room. He was holding a red Solo cup, a cocky grin on his face. The comments were flying by, hundreds of them, as they played a game they called Rate or Roast. It was exactly what it sounded like, a parade of girls, each one subjected to a numerical rating and a barrage of cruel, arrogant comments from Ethan and his brothers. Zoe watched with me, her jaw clenched tighter with every insult, her eyes narrowed in disgust. The viewer count was climbing, a live audience to this public spectacle of casual cruelty. I felt a knot form in my stomach, tightening with each passing moment. I wanted to turn it off, to pretend I hadn't seen it, but I couldn't. It was like watching a slow-motion car crash. Then, Amber Wilson, one of the popular girls who always competed with me for attention, appeared on screen. She was known for her sharp tongue and even sharper wit. "What about your girlfriend, Ethan?" she asked with a smirk, her eyes glinting with a challenge. The room went silent. I held my breath, my heart pounding in my chest. Ethan hesitated, and for a split second, I saw a flash of something in his eyes, maybe a hint of guilt, a flicker of uncertainty. But it was quickly replaced by that familiar, predatory smile, the one he reserved for moments when he was performing for an audience. He took a long, performative sip from his cup, drawing out the suspense, and looked directly into the camera. "Since she's not here to defend herself," he said, dragging out the words for dramatic effect, letting the tension build. My blood ran cold. A wave of dread washed over me. Olivia is sweet. She's reliable. She always cooks dinner. And she's... He paused again, pretending to think, tapping his chin dramatically. "She's a solid 5/10. The room erupted in laughter. It was a physical blow. The sound of their cruel laughter felt like a punch to the gut, a betrayal so profound it took my breath away. "Look, I love her, but let's be real," he continued, preening for his audience of nearly 2,000 viewers, soaking up their approval. "She's not exactly model material. She's studying accounting, drives a Toyota Corolla, and her idea of a perfect Friday night is Netflix and pizza. She's safe, predictable, the kind of girl you date when you want stability, not excitement." Then came the dagger, the one that plunged right into my heart, twisting with malicious intent. Someone shouted from the crowd, their voice barely audible over the laughter, "So why are you with her?" Ethan grinned, his eyes twinkling with self-satisfaction, completely oblivious to the damage he was inflicting. "Honestly? Because I'm not ready to be single again. It's easier to have a placeholder girlfriend than deal with dating apps and random hookups. At least I know what I'm getting with Olivia." The room cheered. They were celebrating my public humiliation, my worth reduced to a mere convenience. I felt a hot flash crawl up my neck, a burning anger starting to simmer beneath the surface of my shock. Zoe was shaking beside me, her face a mask of pure rage. "That absolute piece of garbage," she spat, her voice trembling. I always knew he was fake. But I just sat there, numb, the phone feeling heavy in my hand. I wasn't hurt, not yet. I was just empty. A strange calm settled over me, a quiet resolve forming in the wake of the devastation. My hands, however, were not numb. They moved with a chilling precision. I reached for my laptop, opened Instagram, and with a few calm, deliberate clicks, I changed my relationship status from in a relationship with Ethan Reynolds to single. It felt like signing a divorce paper, a final, irrevocable severance. I then took a screenshot and posted it to my story with the caption, "When you find out you're a placeholder on livestream with 2,000 viewers." I wasn't done. I screenshotted his livestream and shared it to my story with another caption, "Currently watching my placeholder status get upgraded to single. Thanks for the public service announcement, babe." Then I logged into our shared Spotify account and deleted every single song on our Ethan plus Olivia Forever playlist, except for Thank You, Next by Ariana Grande. I renamed the playlist Ethan's Placeholder Era. It was a small act, but it felt incredibly satisfying. Finally, I typed a comment in the livestream chat for everyone to see, my fingers flying across the keyboard. "Thanks for letting me know where I stand, Ethan. Consider yourself officially unplaced." The chat exploded. "OMG, is that Olivia? She's watching. Ethan, you're done, bro." I saw Jason's face go pale as he read the comments. He grabbed Ethan's arm and whispered something urgent in his ear, his eyes wide with panic. Ethan's cocky smirk disappeared instantly, replaced by a look of pure terror. "Olivia," he said into the camera, his voice now a panicked whisper, begging. "Babe, are you watching? It was just a joke. I didn't mean." I closed my laptop and looked at Zoe, a faint smile playing on my lips. "I think I'll go get some ice cream. Want to come?" I said, my voice eerily calm, as if nothing out of the ordinary had just happened. As we walked out the door, my phone started to blow up, a symphony of notifications signaling the beginning of the end for Ethan Reynolds. For 8 months, I had been the steady, reliable girlfriend. The kind of girl who helped him with his business major assignments, spending countless hours proofreading his papers and explaining complex concepts. I cooked him dinner regularly, making sure he had home-cooked meals instead of relying on greasy fast food. I attended every single one of his fraternity events, cheering him on, even when I was exhausted from my own studies. I even helped him prepare for a crucial presentation to a potential donor, which directly led to the fraternity getting a massive college fund donation. I supported him, I nurtured him, and I did it all with a smile on my face, believing in him more than he seemed to believe in himself. My parents, who had always been more focused on my sister's artistic talents and often overlooked my academic achievements, had finally started to warm up to my relationship, happy that I had found someone solid and stable. They even hinted at a future where I might get a good salary and a stable career. But Ethan never seemed to notice the depth of my commitment. He only posted about our relationship on social media when it benefited his image as a thoughtful, romantic boyfriend, carefully curating a facade for public consumption. Zoe had always pointed this out, saying he was a walking billboard for his own ego, a master of superficial charm. I'd always defended him, dismissing her concerns as overthinking, blinded by my own hopes for our future. But now, sitting in a campus ice cream shop with Zoe, the sweet chill of the ice cream a stark contrast to the burning anger in my chest, my phone vibrating uncontrollably with missed calls and angry messages from Ethan and his fraternity brothers, I finally saw the truth. He didn't love me. He loved the idea of me. I was the perfect accessory, smart, kind, and a solid accounting major with a bright future, all things that made him look good without him having to put in any real effort. He was just a selfish, entitled boy. The realization hit me like a physical blow, stripping away all the illusions I had built around him. I went back to my dorm room later that night and was greeted by a tsunami of notifications. Screenshots of my story and Ethan's livestream were being shared across every campus social media page. The hashtag placeholder girlfriend was trending on the university's anonymous confession page, a testament to how quickly a public humiliation could spread. My phone showed 27 missed calls from Ethan, 56 text messages, and hundreds of notifications from people I didn't even know, all expressing shock, sympathy, or outrage. My phone rang. It was Jason, Ethan's best friend and the one who had held the camera. "Olivia, I'm so sorry. What Ethan did was completely out of line," he said, his voice laced with genuine regret, sounding utterly defeated. "He's drunk and stupid, but that's no excuse. I just want to apologize on behalf of our house. We're all mortified." Then another message popped up. It was from Amber, the girl who had challenged Ethan on the livestream. "I've always thought you were too good for him. What he did was disgusting," the DM read. I was floored. A part of me expected her to gloat, to revel in my misery, but instead, she showed me more kindness and solidarity than my own boyfriend had in months. It was a small but significant moment that shifted my perspective. Even Professor Reynolds, my communications professor and a mentor I deeply respected, sent me a brief email. He followed me on Instagram because I was his research assistant, and he was always keen on real-world examples for his ethics class. "Saw what happened," he wrote. "My office is open if you need to talk. Remember, social media is temporary, but your self-worth is permanent." His simple message cut through the noise and made me feel seen, reminding me of what truly mattered. By midnight, someone had created a TikTok compilation of Ethan's comments set to dramatic music, complete with slow-motion replays of his smug face. The video had already gotten 30,000 views and was spreading beyond the campus, reaching a wider audience than even Ethan could have imagined. The internet, a place Ethan had used for validation and to build his carefully constructed image, was now using it to tear him down, piece by agonizing piece. The next morning, Ethan had posted a lengthy Instagram apology. "Last night, I made a horrible mistake and said things I didn't mean while I was drunk. Olivia is an amazing girlfriend and I was just being stupid trying to be funny for my friends. I love her so much and I'm praying she can forgive me for this momentary lapse in judgment. Please stop sending me hate messages." His apology felt like another performance, a desperate attempt at damage control. I could almost hear the PR spin behind every word, the carefully crafted phrases designed to elicit sympathy. He didn't apologize to me, he apologized to his audience. He wasn't sorry for what he said, he was sorry for the consequences. And I knew it. His fraternity brothers were already distancing themselves, with Jason posting a generic statement about Alpha Beta Phi not condoning disrespect towards women. Then, around noon, a knock on my door. It was Ethan and Jason. Ethan looked terrible, still in yesterday's clothes, eyes red and puffy from crying or lack of sleep. He was no longer the charming, confident fraternity president. He was just a boy, afraid and desperate, his carefully constructed world crumbling around him. "Olivia, please," he started, his voice cracking, barely a whisper. "Can we talk? I know I messed up. You called me a placeholder girlfriend on livestream to 2,000 people," I interrupted calmly, my voice steady, devoid of any emotion. "What exactly is there to talk about, Ethan? I was drunk." "I didn't mean any of it," he pleaded, his voice rising in desperation. "You know how I get when I'm performing for people. I just say stupid stuff for attention. It was a joke, babe, just a stupid joke." "So, your defense is that you publicly humiliated me for entertainment?" I asked, my eyebrow raised, letting the absurdity of his excuse hang in the air. Jason stepped forward, trying to mediate, his face etched with exhaustion. "Olivia, Ethan's been a mess all night. He knows he messed up. Can't you just—" "With all due respect, Jason, this has nothing to do with you," I said firmly, my voice unwavering. "This was between Ethan and me, and no one else." Ethan's face crumpled. "You can't be serious." 8 months, Olivia. 8 months. You're going to throw that away over one stupid comment? Over a joke? You threw it away the moment you called me a placeholder, I replied, my gaze unwavering. I'm just acknowledging reality. I'm just making your reality my reality. He got nasty then, his desperation giving way to anger, his true colors shining through. Fine. You want to be petty? You're nothing without me, Olivia. You think these guys sliding into your DMs actually care about you? They just feel sorry for you. You're still the same boring accounting major driving a Toyota Corolla. You're still that quiet girl who just studies all the time. I smiled. The words didn't sting. They just confirmed everything I already knew about him, about his shallow perception of me. You're absolutely right. I am the same person. The difference is now I'm the same person who isn't dating someone who thinks of me as a placeholder. I closed the door in his face, a sense of finality settling over me. Zoe, who had been watching the whole exchange from behind me, let out a triumphant cheer and high-fived me. That was iconic, she said, her eyes sparkling with pride. That evening, Ethan's desperate attempts to save his reputation began in earnest. He posted a TikTok titled My Side of the Story, where he tried to paint himself as the victim. In the 3-minute video, he claimed I was controlling, that he had felt trapped in our relationship, and that his comments on the live stream were just him finally being honest about his feelings. He even tried to portray himself as someone who was afraid to break up with me because he thought I was emotionally dependent on him. It was a masterclass in manipulation and gaslighting, a pathetic attempt to rewrite history. The comment section immediately called him out. Girl, we literally watched you call her a placeholder girlfriend for entertainment. This is not the serve you think it is. The audacity is astronomical. Imagine getting dumped for your own actions and trying to make yourself the victim. A genius on the internet, someone I'll forever be grateful to, stitched his TikTok with clips from his original livestream, creating a side-by-side comparison that made his lies painfully obvious. That video got 200,000 views in 6 hours, spreading like wildfire across the internet. Ethan started commenting on other people's posts about the situation, arguing with anyone who criticized him, digging himself deeper into the hole he'd created. He even slid into the DMs of guys who had messaged me, warning them that I was vindictive and not what she seems, desperately trying to sabotage any potential new connections. Amber, my unexpected ally, screenshotted his messages and shared them publicly. This is who Ethan really is when he doesn't get his way, she wrote, exposing his true character to the world. Meanwhile, I focused on my final exams, my phone silenced, notifications turned off. It was the only way I could get through it, to maintain my sanity amidst the digital storm. I poured all my energy into my studies, determined not to let his actions derail my future. A few days later, Tyler, Zoe's boyfriend, told us that Ethan had been called into a meeting with his fraternity's executive board. His public meltdown was reflecting poorly on the entire organization. Alumni were asking questions about the fraternity's values, and younger members were embarrassed to be associated with his behavior. The reputation he had so carefully cultivated was crumbling. Jason knocked on my door again that evening. He looked utterly exhausted, his shoulders slumped. Olivia, I need to ask you a favor, he said, his voice weary. Can you please ask people to stop tagging our fraternity in posts about Ethan? It's getting out of hand. Our national chapter is getting involved. I haven't tagged your fraternity in anything, I replied honestly. I've barely posted anything since that night. I know, but your response started all this, and now it's affecting all of us. He's not handling this well. He's been drinking every night, starting fights with the other guys, and frankly, he's becoming a liability. He's talking about getting a lawyer to sue people for defamation, which is just insane. What do you want me to do about it? I asked, my voice calm. Could you maybe post something asking people to move on? Like saying you've both learned from this and you're ready to put it behind you, he pleaded, his eyes desperate. I considered it for exactly 1 second. No. My voice was calm, but firm. Jason's face fell. Olivia, please. I know he hurt you, but this is ruining his life. He might even have to leave school. Jason, I said, my voice gaining a quiet strength, he ruined his own life the moment he decided to publicly humiliate me for entertainment. I haven't posted anything about him since Saturday night. Everything that's happening now is just the natural consequence of his own actions. I didn't ask for this, but I'm certainly not going to stop it. But you could make it stop, he said, pleading, almost begging. Why would I want to make it stop? I asked, a faint, almost imperceptible smile touching my lips. For 8 months, I was completely loyal to someone who thought of me as a placeholder. Now the whole school knows exactly what kind of person he is. That's not revenge. That's just truth. 2 weeks later, I was sitting in Professor Reynolds' communications ethics class. I was his research assistant, so I was always in the front, eager to learn. But that day, I chose a seat in the back. I had a bad feeling, a sense of foreboding. Today, class, we're going to discuss a recent campus event as a case study in social media consequences, he announced, his gaze sweeping across the room. My blood ran cold again, but this time, it was mixed with a strange sense of anticipation. Many of you are familiar with what's being called the placeholder incident. He presented the case objectively, laying out the facts without judgment. A student publicly humiliated his girlfriend on social media. She responded by ending the relationship publicly, and the situation went viral, sparking a campus-wide discussion. What interests me is not the drama, but the ethics of both the initial action and the response, he said, inviting discussion. The class was silent for a moment, then hands started to go up. Amber, who was also in the class, spoke up first. I was there that night. What the boyfriend did was calculated cruelty. Her response was proportional and dignified. It was a necessary act of self-preservation. A male student argued, but she could have handled it privately. By making it public, she ensured it would destroy his reputation. Isn't that a form of revenge? I felt a surge of courage, a quiet power rising within me. This was my moment. When someone chooses to humiliate you publicly, I said, my voice clear and steady, cutting through the classroom chatter, they forfeit the right to a private response. The public nature of the offense demands a public defense. The class went silent, many students turning to look at me, some with surprise, others with understanding. Professor Reynolds nodded thoughtfully, a knowing look in his eyes. An interesting perspective on proportional response, Ms. Carter. The public nature of the original offense perhaps justifies a public defense. It raises important questions about accountability in the digital age. After class, he asked me to stay behind. I hope you didn't feel put on the spot, Olivia, he said, his tone gentle. But your experience provides valuable insight for the class, and frankly, it was a powerful example. It's fine, Professor, I replied, a genuine smile forming on my lips. It's actually helping me process everything. It feels good to talk about it, to frame it as a learning experience. For what it's worth, he said, his gaze warm and encouraging, I think you handled an impossible situation with remarkable grace and integrity. That will serve you well long after this campus drama is forgotten. The search for a prestigious summer internship is underway, and I'll be recommending you based on your exceptional poise under pressure and ethical decision-making. I believe you're ready for a significant promotion in your career path. I was floored. A scholarship and potential promotion for a summer internship? My hard work, my professionalism, my integrity, everything Ethan had called boring, was being recognized and rewarded. It was a vindication far sweeter than any revenge. 3 weeks after the live stream, Ethan's world continued to unravel. His fraternity placed him on social probation, effectively sidelining him from all events and stripping him of his leadership role. He couldn't participate in any events or represent them. His TikTok account got temporarily suspended for harassment after he continued to post about me, spewing hateful and desperate messages. His reputation on campus was completely destroyed, a cautionary tale whispered in hallways. The real karma, however, came in the form of Chad Peterson, the captain of the lacrosse team. Chad was the guy Ethan had rated a solid 9 during that infamous livestream, the epitome of the cool guys Ethan desperately wanted to impress. I saw him at a party, and I overheard him talking to his friends, his voice clear and dismissive. "Ethan's cool, but he's toxic," he said. "Did you see how he treated his girlfriend on that livestream? Imagine what he'd do to his friends if they crossed him. Hard pass." The same guys Ethan had been trying to impress with his honesty about me were now actively avoiding him. Turns out, publicly humiliating your girlfriend doesn't make you more popular with other men, it just makes you look cruel, untrustworthy, and deeply insecure. His social circle, once vast and adoring, began to shrink dramatically. Mia, who had been defending Ethan with a fierce loyalty, finally distanced herself after he drunkenly tried to kiss her at a party, misinterpreting her support as an invitation. She posted cryptically on her story, "Sometimes people show you exactly who they are. Believe them the first time." Even his most ardent defender had seen enough. Meanwhile, my life improved in ways I couldn't have imagined. The attention from the situation, though initially overwhelming, led to me getting invited to social events I never would have been invited to before. People were curious, yes, but they also saw strength in me that I hadn't even fully recognized myself. I started talking to Michael, a guy from my economics class who had reached out after seeing everything go down. He was smart, funny, and most importantly, he thought the whole situation showed my strength of character, not my weakness. "The way you handled that was legendary," he told me over coffee one afternoon, his eyes full of genuine admiration. "Most girls would have either gotten emotional or tried to win him back. You just moved on." It was so mature, so powerful. Zoe and Tyler became closer friends with Michael and me. We'd often study together in the library, or grab pizza on a Friday night, laughing and talking about everything but Ethan. Our bond deepened, forged in shared experiences and mutual respect. Amber, surprisingly, became a good friend too. "I always thought you were just Ethan's quiet girlfriend," Amber admitted one night, as we were studying for a joint class. "I had no idea how cool you actually are. Watching you stand up for yourself inspired me to end my own toxic relationship. You showed me what self-respect truly looks like." The blog about healthy relationships and self-respect I started, initially just a way to process my own feelings, gained a significant following among college students and even beyond. It was a place for me to share my story, my insights, and to connect with others who had experienced similar betrayals. It resonated with so many people, becoming a platform for empowerment and healing. I started getting messages from women twice my age, sharing their own stories of being overlooked or undervalued by family members or partners, stories about inheritance disputes, or bitter custody battles, or husbands who had betrayed them. They found solace and inspiration in my words, and that, more than anything, felt like a true victory. 3 months after the livestream, I ran into Ethan at the campus library. It was late, and the library was almost empty. He looked rough, tired, stressed, like he hadn't slept in weeks. His once impeccable appearance was now disheveled, his eyes hollow. He was a ghost of his former self. He'd gone from being one of the most popular guys on campus to being a cautionary tale, a symbol of what not to do. When he saw me, his face went through several emotions before settling on defeat. Shame, regret, and a flicker of his old arrogance, quickly extinguished. "Olivia," he said quietly, his voice barely a whisper, devoid of its usual charm. "Can we please talk? Just for 5 minutes? Please." I looked at him for a long moment. A part of me, a small, empathetic part, felt a pang of pity for him. He was clearly suffering. But then I remembered sitting in my dorm room, watching him call me a placeholder girlfriend to thousands of people for entertainment, the smug look on his face, the casual cruelty of his words. The pity vanished, replaced by a quiet strength. "What's there to talk about, Ethan?" I said, my voice steady, completely calm. "I'm sorry," he said, and for the first time since I'd known him, he actually sounded sincere, his voice thick with emotion. "I'm really, truly sorry. I was drunk and stupid and I was showing off and I ruined the best thing in my life. I messed up everything. The best thing in your life was a placeholder girlfriend who was a 5 out of 10, I replied calmly, letting his own words hang in the air between us. He winced, the words clearly stinging him now. You were never a placeholder. I was just. I don't know. I was trying to be cool for my friends. I thought it would be funny. I thought it would make me look good. It was funny, I said, a faint, almost imperceptible smile touching my lips. Just not in the way you intended. He looked like he might cry, his eyes welling up. I know I don't deserve it, but is there any chance you could forgive me? Maybe we could try again? I've changed, Olivia, I swear. I thought about it for exactly 1 second. No. The word was soft, but firm, leaving no room for negotiation. Olivia, please. I'll do anything. I'll delete all my social media. I'll transfer schools. I'll go to therapy. Ethan, I interrupted gently, cutting him off. You told 2,000 people that you were only with me because you weren't ready to be single. That I was easy and convenient, that you were settling for me until something better came along. I paused, letting the weight of his words settle. You can't unsay that. And even if you could, I wouldn't want you to. What do you mean? He asked, confused, his voice barely a whisper. I mean, you did me a favor. You showed me exactly what you thought of me, and you showed everyone else what kind of person you really are. Now I'm with someone who actually wants to be with me, not someone who is just avoiding being alone. His face fell, the last flicker of hope draining from his eyes. You're dating someone else? I'm seeing Michael from economics. Someone who thinks I'm more than a placeholder. Ethan nodded slowly, tears starting to fall freely down his face. I hope he makes you happy. He does, I said simply, my voice filled with genuine contentment. Take care, Ethan. As I walked away, leaving him standing there amidst the silent bookshelves, I felt nothing but relief. No anger, no sadness, no regret. Just the deep satisfaction of knowing I dodged a bullet and found my own path to happiness. 6 months later, Ethan transferred to a school across the state. According to Jason, he couldn't handle the constant reminders of his public humiliation. Every time someone new saw the TikTok compilations or heard the story, he'd have to relive it all over again. His once thriving social life was non-existent, and he couldn't shake the reputation he had earned. He effectively became a pariah, a living cautionary tale. Olivia and Michael made their relationship official and are going strong. He's everything Ethan wasn't, genuine, kind, and he thinks she's a catch, not a consolation prize. They laugh about the whole situation now, a dark humor that only true survivors can appreciate. Michael even jokes that he should send Ethan a thank you card for being such a terrible boyfriend that he opened up Olivia's dating schedule. The #placeholder girlfriend saga became campus legend. Freshmen still ask about it during orientation week, a modern fable about the dangers of social media and the power of self-respect. Professor Reynolds made it a permanent case study in his communications ethics class, ensuring that Ethan's actions and Olivia's response would be analyzed for years to come. Olivia was even invited to speak to a freshman seminar about healthy relationships and social media boundaries, sharing her story as a testament to resilience. Zoe and Tyler got engaged, with Olivia as the maid of honor, their friendship a constant source of joy and support. Amber and Olivia remain good friends, with Amber admitting that watching Olivia stand up for herself inspired her to end her own toxic relationship, proving that even unexpected allies can emerge from the ashes of betrayal. As for me, I learned that sometimes the trash takes itself out. Sometimes the person who claims to love you will show you exactly how little you mean to them, and how much they value their own ego over your feelings. And sometimes, that's the best gift they could ever give you. It's a funeral for a relationship that was never truly alive, a chance for a new beginning. Ethan wanted excitement over stability, performance over genuine connection. He got exactly what he asked for, a very exciting, very public destruction of his own reputation. And me? I got something better. I got to find out who I really was when I stopped trying to be good enough for someone who would never think I was good enough anyway. I found my voice, my strength, and a love that was real, not just a placeholder. And that's worth way more than being someone's placeholder. Thank you so much for listening to my story. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Have you ever had a moment where you realized you needed to stand up for yourself? What happened? Let me know. And if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out. I'll see you in the next one.
After listening to today's story, perhaps it has raised some new questions in your mind, or maybe it has brought back some old memories. Every day on Reddit, new experiences and moments create fresh stories, and they connect all of us. Everyone has their own unique journey in life, and we all try to understand the world in our own way. These kinds of moments remind us that we are all human, sometimes happy, sometimes sad, and always learning something new. If you enjoyed this story, feel free to share it with your friends. Your thoughts and feedback are always valuable to us, as they motivate us to create even better content. Every story has its own unique angle, and our goal is to understand everyone's perspective and make our content diverse and relatable. Stories like these help us realize that life's journey is different for everyone, and by hearing other stories, we learn something new. You can also share your own stories with us. Your experiences are valuable to us as well, and if you enjoyed this video, please leave your feedback. We aim to create content that brightens your mind and gives you new ideas every time. If you've already seen this video before, your feedback is still important. With every piece of feedback, we can improve our content and bring a new perspective to our viewers. Today, what we saw was just a small part of the many stories shared on Reddit and across the world. It's a reminder of how we all try to understand life by sharing our experiences with each other. This video was only an example of how we try to connect with others through storytelling, learning about different sides of life. We hope to continue sharing such stories that help us all learn and grow together. Thank you for your time, and don't forget to keep an eye out for more stories coming soon. If you haven't already, please like and follow for more amazing content. Your support keeps us going, and we will strive to bring you more thought-provoking and heartwarming stories. Until next time, take care and stay curious. *.